Hi, this is Suzette, the Meaningful Work Maven, Wild Hearts Rising, and I am going to share a piece of one of my all-time favorite books called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the reason I'm reading from this is because, this book was very um, instrumental in my self-education journey. And I truly believe that the more we take the steps to become educated and the more effective we can be in our lives, no matter what our goals are. But here's what happens when we get stuck in old habitual patterns that maybe don't support breaking through our blocks to abundance. And that's the habits that come to create the experiences of life, our daily life experience. And then we become products of our habits and routines. And for some of us, we go on like this until we can't work anymore, and maybe it's time, we get too old to do anything. And that's usually the time that it's too late. The time to become aware of our routines and how they align with our highest potential is ultimately the way to bust through the blocks that are holding you back. So this is from the 7 Habits overview, and I quote, "Habits too have tremendous gravity pull, more than most people realize or would admit. Breaking deeply embedded habitual tendencies such as procrastination, impatience, criticalness, or selfishness that violate basic principles of human effectiveness involves more than a little willpower and a few minor changes in our lives. Liftoff takes a tremendous effort, but once we break out of the gravity pull, our freedom takes on a whole new dimension. Like any natural force, gravity pull can work with us or against us. The gravity pull of some of our habits may currently be keeping us from going where we want to go, but it is also gravity pull that keeps our world together, that keeps the planets in their orbits and our universe in order. It is a powerful force, and if we use it effectively, we can use the gravity pull of habit to create the cohesiveness and order necessary to establish effectiveness in our lives. Habits defined. For our purposes, we will define a habit as the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. Knowledge is the theoretical paradigm, the what to do and the why. Skill is the how to do, and desire is the motivation, the want to do. In order to make something a habit in our lives, we have to have all three. I may be ineffective in my interactions with my work associates, my spouse, or my children because I constantly tell them what I think, but I never really listen to them. Unless I search out correct principles of human interaction, I may not even know I need to listen. But if I do know that in order to interact effectively with others, I really need to listen to them, I may not have the skill. I may not know how to really listen deeply to another human being. But knowing I need to listen and knowing how to listen is not enough. Unless I want to listen, unless I have the desire, it won't be a habit in my life. Creating a habit requires work in all three dimensions. The being, seeing change is an upward process. Being, changing, seeing, in which in turn changes being, and so forth, as we move in an upward spiral of growth. By working on knowledge, skill, and desire, we can break through to new levels of personal and interpersonal effectiveness as we break with old paradigms that may have been a source of pseudo-security for years. And by the way, that's what loops are. Old running paradigms. Just want to make that note there. And I continue on. It's sometimes a painful process. It's a change motivated by a higher purpose, by the willingness to subordinate what you think you want now for what you want later. But this process produces happiness, the object and design of our existence. Happiness can be defined, in part at least, as the fruit of the desire and ability to sacrifice what we want now for what we want eventually. So, with that, I extend a warm invitation to face your loops. Because until you can face your loops, you won't know what you have to do to make the leaps. And looping is getting stuck in old patterns created by old thinking and old choices and old contracts to self and others. It's taking a look at what's not working and being real about it, being honest about it, being clear about what's true and what's real. Because only then will you have the eyes to see what loops are keeping you stuck and what's in the way of making the leap. So this 5-day challenge that I am announcing and that I am hosting is called 5 days to bust through your blocks and turn things around, whatever that might be for you. So please, it's only 5 days, it's free, and you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So with that, I hope that you have a productive, astounding, and amazing productive day. The Meaningful Work Maven, signing off. Till next time.